Hell is real and I was there, a real testimony of rapture of the spirit. It was in 1996 I was the evangelist pastoring the congregation of the Baptist Church, in the city or Praia Grande in Santa Catarina, in the countryside of the local municipality known as Passo de Cacura. It was around 3 o'clock in the morning when I had a vision or was taken away in spirit. I saw when an angel descended on the roof of the house where we lived, and the roof opened as if it were the lid of a trunk. The angel spoke around in a strong light in my room and touched me saying, "Wake up, I came to get you, to take a walk." I answered, "Yes." "Where are we going?" He told me, "Do not be afraid, I have received the order from the Lord. I have to take you to the nets of hell, and allow you to see some things." I said, "I am fine if you want to take me," and then the angel touched me again saying, "Let's go." Then I began to leave the body and held the angel on the hip and we climbed toward the roof that had completely opened up. There I saw the village, the houses and the place where the cults were held. We continued climbing and flying now toward the peak of the highest mount of the village where banana trees were planted, and when we were at the highest point of the mountain, the angel illuminated everything perfectly with his strong light. I saw everything around the banana plantation and the native vado. Then we began to fly down. As we descended from the mountain, the earth opened as if it were the mouth of a great abyss, and we continued descending inside the earth. When we began to enter the underworld, I began to see the roots of the trees and the solid rocks that formed the inner crust of the earth. Despite the darkness of that deep abyss, the angel's light illuminated the tunnel. Holding the angel, we descended more and more. The depth was immense because we took our time descending, and finally we landed inside a large cave full of dark tunnels that stuck to the walls. There was a small torch that illuminated the place, but it was very weak. I had to steady my eyes to see. At that moment the angel said, "We have reached hell. Now it is up to you," and he left my field of vision, but I felt his presence and heard his voice telling me to go forward on my straight line and see hell, and I saw terrible things ahead. About 5 meters before me the cave was more illuminated and there was a large throne of stone. Sitting on it was a light-skinned man with very long blonde hair, without a shirt. He was very sweaty, and was wearing very thin shoes that reached his knees. He had his head down, so his long hair swept the floor and swirled around his face. When he noticed my presence there watching him, he slowly raised his head with feminine agility. He threw his hair back and left his face visible. He had bright blue eyes and a perfect masculine face. Then looking into my eyes with a mocking smile, he said, "You are here now, I'll get you. By the way, it's been a while since I have been chasing you, but without success, but now you are in my kingdom." When I heard this, I remembered a dream I had for a long time in my adolescence, where a blonde man with blue eyes and short hair, wearing a white linen suit and a white hat, a stylish gangster, that chased me with a knife in his hand, and I ran a lot and only escaped him when I jumped over a 4 meters wide stream that was very clear and calm, and on the other side of the bank sitting on the green grass I heard him shouting, "Today you made it and managed to escape from me, but I'll keep chasing you until I catch you." When I remember that dream, I knew now that it was the same person that was before me that I saw previously in the dream chasing me. Then I heard the angel's voice in my mind saying, "Yes, this is Lucifer, the master of disguise." Then the man on the throne became furious and transformed himself into an animal with a leopard face and sharp claws, and he jumped at me. But at that moment when he tried to capture me, I saw that the beast was tied to the stone throne with very thick chains and couldn't reach me. But then he screamed and spoke a strange language and said, "You mustn't escape from here." And from small openings in the cavernous rock came more demons than I could not count. They were beasts with claws drooling sulfur with faces that looked like monsters. The angel spoke in my mind, "Run to the left." Quickly I ran. The stone wall opened and a very long corridor opened. All made of black marble, it looked like the corridor of a medieval castle. I ran with all my strength in that corridor, but in reality it seemed like I was flying. The demons ran after me making a lot of monstrous noise. I felt their sulfur breath behind me, and when one seemed to grab me, its claws passed through my body without causing any damage, because my body was like a translucent veil. After running for a long time, the corridor came to an end and I found myself cornered. Then the voice of the angel in my mind said, "Look to the right." I looked. A large door opened in front of me. I looked and I was inside a crystal cave, in front of a floating throne, also made of crystal, where a blonde woman was sitting, dressed in a beautiful, bright, flowing light blue dress. The demons came after me. But then the woman on the throne made a gesture with her hand, saying, "Stop, don't touch him." She spoke in strange tongues and the demons obeyed her. Then she called me, "Pastor." I said, "I'm not a pastor, I'm an evangelist." She said, "You're a very busy little pastor, because you bother us a lot with your messages of fidelity, holiness, prayer and reading of that book, and it gives us a lot of work to keep our souls up there, because you are convincing them that hell is real, while we keep this reality preferably secret. Our preaching is that hell is just a fable. But since you arrived in my church you have been taking my souls out of my control. They are praying and I can't reach their souls easily, and there are texts from that book of your Lord in their minds." It was then the woman on the throne transfigured herself into a beast and attacked me with insults. There was an ironic smile on her face. I replied her, "But who are you? From where do you know me?" She laughed and said, "You don't know me. I am every day in the services of your church. I am the spirit of falsehood, and you are invading my domains, and it's no use because I am inside the church. The church is mine. You want to see the truth." She made a gesture to the crystal wall and a waterfall with very clean waters opened, looking like a LED screen, and first she showed me her transparent crystal throne over the village at Paso de Cacura. She sat there with long flowing dresses and long hair, laughing and saying, "This is my kingdom and my principality, and I dominate everything in this region." I saw the houses in the village, including the wooden house that was used for worship, which was in the church. She made another gesture and showed me the Temple of Solomon, at the entrance, the main columns. I looked inside the temple and zoomed in. It was huge and very dark, with small lights like candles scattered around but shrouded in darkness. The zoom continued and I saw a huge, well-lit pulpit where there were all kinds of singers, musicians and preachers. She laughed and said, "Have you seen this? This is the church. All these people these people on stage, I bought them with a lot of money. Parties and beautiful women, and they look like holiness leaders but they are totally mine, and they are full of greed. They charge a lot of money. They aren't like you poor man who spends even your little for this failed work. In the very near future you will see the mega preachers charging 20,000 to 30,000 to preach and so on. I will make these gospel stars famous singers but who only perform for a fee, and I will open the door of the media for them and they will be idols of the people. I have already conquered." At that moment I thought, my God, the church is in the dark, but there are little lights in the middle of it, so I asked about the little lights in the middle of the church in darkness. The demon of falsehood replied, "Those are some old men and women blessed who still exist, and against them I can do nothing, not even remove them from the middle of the church, and they are the ones who get in the way of my plan to command everything up there. God listens to their prayer more." So I prayed, "My Lord, I don't know why you brought me here, but I want to go back and continue preaching your word." The demon of falsehood reacted with insults, and then told me, "I don't want you here, but I received orders from up there in heaven not to touch a hair on your head. Anyway, I already have many preachers, pastors, missionaries and workers of all kinds." Behold, she made a gesture to his left, and a very large cave opened. Then I saw in the middle of it a lake of fire, the likeness of a volcano with incandescent lava that was bubbling, and it was full of people who were screaming and moaning desperately. I saw a preacher in a plaid suit with an open but blank book, who shouted at me. He said to me, "Keep warning the people up there that hell exists. It is real and terribly painful and the torment has no end." And this pastor was whipped by a demon that made him sink into the lava. I saw a woman chained next to all that fire, who shouted, "Warn my children so that they don't come here." I saw a young man who shouted at me, "I am thirsty, very thirsty, because I despised the source of living water. I ended up here, and so I saw several people immersed in terrible suffering confessing their sins but always saying now it's too late. The vision was terrible and I couldn't do anything for them, so I prayed, Lord, get me out of here. The angel appeared beside me and said, you must proclaim what you saw, you must never stop preaching about hell and heaven. Now let's go. We went up in that same light that we had descended to the ground above. I saw once again the earth's crust opening up and we reached the roots of the trees and then we came out in the same place where we had come down, at the top of the hill in the banana plantation. We flew back to my house and went down the roof that was still open, and I saw my body lying with my arm over my wife, and our boy in the crib on the edge of the bed. So I entered my body and the angel said goodbye and went up to the roof, and closed it, and then I woke up. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. I woke up my wife, she was a little scared, and then I told her everything I had seen there in hell and we went to bed, and that rest of the night, I didn't sleep or continue as I still do today, seeing those scenes very vivid in my mind. I at the time received orders from the angel not to talk much about the vision only when the Holy Spirit touched me, but that year in the midst of many struggles I heard the voice of the Lord say, write about this and tell the world that hell is real, and that Satan is infiltrated in the midst of the church, so that my people seek me more in prayer. Behold, I come quickly and my reward is with me to give each one according to his works. It is Satan who puts this type of doubt in people's minds about hell. Hell is reality, no one should doubt it.